All right. Welcome to the Rook DAO status update for December 23rd, 2022. It is a good day, and I look forward to sharing with you guys the things that the DAO and Labs has been doing between the 10th and the 10th and the 19th. There's a typo in the notes. So, for the first couple of bookkeeping items, KIP 35 has passed on the forum. The votes were unanimous. 16,000 Rook participated, and we had 0 objection votes in that KIP. So great job to the team that wrote on it and communicated about it, because it appears as a DAO we are all aligned that making this change is a good idea. We will begin working on the implementation of KIP 35 and should be announcing a timeline for the actual integration after the winter break. That way we can get started in the new year rolling hard and fast. The community calls of this week, the Treasury Tuesday AMA and the Governance Workshop panel, are both available on Rookbase now. If you hadn't made an opportunity to catch those, we do recommend getting into the recordings and giving it a listen. Lots of good alpha in there. As far as the last 2 weeks stand up, the product team has a couple of basic updates. Namely, they built a UI for the relay and nodes with design improvements, prepping a new version of the node UI, and it is now ready to hand off to prospective partners. They are resuming work on an app integration for a third-party platform, and they are also working on designs for user flow for inputting custom token addresses. So getting one step closer to that permissionless implementation. On the protocol side, we have a new swap contract audit going through. We're still kind of ironing out the finer details, but the audit is going very well with both companies, and we are catching the little bugs and the big and dealing with them quickly. The Rook swap documentation is being prepared, and we should be able to release that right around the same time as that timeline. So looking forward to giving a lot more detail there. The coordinator scaling optimizations are still in progress, and we are working on optimizing Ninja's bidding performance. So the protocol is getting upgrades left and right, but we'll be covering most of that in a finer detail in the new year. In the governance side of things, we had a call from the future team, which that was in one of those recordings for the Treasury Tuesday because they submitted a KIP proposal. So go ahead and check out the recap of that if you aren't interested in listening to the entire podcast. We are working with the protocol team to identify a new SOFON to take over for Doge. So there is some upcoming developments there, but it is too early to announce the replacement or the finalization of that process. So keep an eye out for that. And we have a handful of KIPs in review, so if you're not on the forums, definitely hop on there and take a look. We've got KIPs 37 through 39. The KIP 36 is an expansion of testing wallets. The KIP 37 is discretionary like-kind asset swapping. KIP 38 is replenishing the discretionary investment fund. And KIP 39 is deployment of additional ETH for yield. So we definitely have a lot happening on the treasury side of things with our KIPs. Make sure your voice is heard, and we will get those up to a vote soon. From the studio side, Watts has been very busy, and he has got a handful of stuff on his plate and is ongoing with those points of progress, namely in the website, on the GitHub, with Explainer Studio interviews and market research, both in nodes and product focuses, and the branding and assets prep for the product launch related to KIP 35 passing. Very big lift for that guy. He's staying super busy, but there's going to be an awful lot of good stuff for us to share from him in the new year. In the Treasury section, we have a mention of the guest panel where we were joined by Cato from Utopia Labs and Jonah from Den. There is record of the AMA on rookbase.xyz. Head on over there and check it out if you want to see some of the things that they dropped on our community as alpha. The Q1 2023 budget is being finalized, and we look forward to sharing the details of that with you soon and getting it up to a vote for ratification. The testing wallet dashboard at Dune is now live, and I have a link that I will be sharing in the chat shortly. Be sure to check out the recap and recording on Rookbase, and that will give you a little bit more detail there. On the growth side, we have an ongoing conversation with a as yet unnamed podcast host about an appearance from the Rook team. I cannot tell you who it is yet because we are not yet allowed, but as soon as we can, we'll share that with you and drop a new point to go check out and share the good news about Rook. The quarterly report is started for Q4, and we are looking forward to having that fully assembled and ready for release around the end of the year so that you guys can stay up to date with all of the fine point details from the last quarter. As for the regular events next week, we typically do Treasury Tuesdays and DAO office hours, but because it is Christmas, New Year's, holidays, it is a time to go be with family and rejuvenate. And so we will be putting both of those off and come back on the 9th of January to the regular cadence. So get a little extra time with family, and we will have some extra packed updates when those come around next time, because there will be a little more to go over that happened in that frame. But otherwise, it is a light load for today, and that covers all of the basic updates from our side. So now we're going to drop into an open forum format and allow any questions you guys may have, and I will do my best to answer them as I can. All right. It doesn't look like we have any comments in the chat yet, and nobody's really jumped up on stage, so I think it's pretty safe to say that we do not have any extra questions for this week, which means that this lightning round of an update is now complete, and I can give back a bunch of time for you guys to get that last minute shopping done, because there's an awful lot of it going around right now. With that, Rook DAO is out and strong. Have a great day, guys.